everyone. Welcome to Strictly Sports. I'm Jacob Brown, joined here with CJ Uri and Steve Cashin. We got the Super Bowl to talk about. It's been a few weeks. We've been doing other pods. We just attached to this pod, actually, we have the Mitch Hartigan interview, and we also have it posted on our Strictly Baseball along with our FAU baseball season preview. Their season starts this weekend. I'll be on the call on FAU Owl Radio with Chris Trapp on Saturday and with Mark Papaleo, who I host Strictly Yankees with. We're going to do that game on Sunday. Steve Cashin will come down later in the season and call games with us. But that's how we're going to start the season. So, Steve, this is your pod today, dude. I mean, this is your celebration pod. The Bucks won.
Yeah, I'm kind of off my high now, but I still got Bucks shit all over my room. But yeah, I was like drunk for I swear to God, 10 days straight. From the lead up to the Super Bowl, I was like a nervous wreck. And then me and Top Gun, no one knows who that is besides CJ, but my friend in the Air Force, he was like, all right, I took the week off after the Super Bowl. We win, we go out every night. We lose, we drink our sorrows away at the bar. I'm like, all right, well, we win either way. Super Bowl Sunday happens. We literally finished a whole keg by the third quarter, well, end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever. Throwing that shit around. They win. After that, I think I went out from literally Sunday to Sunday, and now I'm recovering. And it was a whirlwind. I really didn't think they were going to win. I mean, did I think they were going to win the Super Bowl when they were in it? Yeah, I thought they could beat the Chiefs, but from week one, if you were telling me the Bucks are going to be at home playing for the Super Bowl, I'd be like, you're nuts. Really, year one, but fortunate that it happened and it's exciting. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful Tom Brady came in and did his job and got to witness the Super Bowl. So couldn't be happier.
Yeah, congratulations to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I definitely was not a believer. I would say towards the end of the season, when things started clicking a little bit more, I think it was really when the Bucs were like, yo, if we keep fucking around and hoping that we win, we're not going to. I think it was the Chiefs game. I felt like really snapped them into gear. Was that whereas like, okay, look, if we're going to play the top dogs, we can't be playing like this anymore. And they picked it up. Props to them. They went through a pretty rough Super Bowl path. I mean, they had to play Breeze, Rodgers, and then they had to play Mahomes, all for a ring. I mean, and that Washington football team game wasn't easy either. That was an unbelievable defense that they had to play, and they had to go on the road for it. So props to the Tampa Bay Bucks. I wasn't a believer. I was proved wrong. Thought Aaron Rodgers was going to beat them. I'm not going to lie. I did take them in the Saints game. I did feel like they were going to beat the Saints. I was not at all a fan of the Saints offense. I felt like the Bucks would eat, and they did. But I did feel like the Packers were going to humble them and go on to the Super Bowl. But the Bucks did. Congrats to the Bucks. The Chiefs have a lot of questions on their O-line and a lot on their D-line because they're not beating anybody going forward with that kind of performance. But props to the Bucks. They deserved it. And Tom Brady, I fully respect because he's out of New England, and I don't hate him anymore.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way with not hating him anymore. He's actually kind of likable in Tampa. He's kind of loose. And after that video, seeing him drunk, I'm starting to call him Drunk Uncle Tom. He's kind of just free-willing now and very loose and free in Tampa. So it's good to see, but I want to be open with it. I mean, I was completely right all the way through. I mean, I don't get to boast a lot about my picks because I'm not that great, with prediction. That's my. I mean, maybe I should be better with predictions because it's kind of my job. But I was pretty happy that I picked him all the way through. I trusted in Tom. I mean, it was more just like an energy feel. Like you just went into these games and you could tell body language wise that Tom Brady was on that field. He's like, we're just going to win this game. And you could tell just the defense was always confident. They were always structured incredibly well. Every game that they played a perfect game in almost every area. They were buttoned up. They didn't take a lot of flags. You could tell the team was serious. You could tell they were committed. And that's why I went with them all the way through. And that's what had them win the Super Bowl the way they did. It wasn't even a close game. It was a blowout. I mean, none of us expected a blowout. When I predicted them on that pod, I said, yeah, I think we'll see a close game either way, but I think the Bucs will win. I didn't see the score being like that. Nobody did. And it was a great game. So the thing I want to end, though, is this. Number one, if anyone says that Tom Brady isn't the GOAT, get out. Number two, I don't want to hear it about Mahomes, these Mahomes stick-upper people who are in there like, oh, the loss wasn't Mahomes' fault. Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the league. Oh, Mahomes is this. He's so special. It's like, how about we just admit that the guy was running for his life and he couldn't complete the passes that he usually completed? Did he have a beat-up O-line? Yes. That doesn't excuse him going from otherworldly to mediocre at best. And he did this, and let's think about it this way too. Last year during the Super Bowl against San Francisco, he played like that until the fourth quarter. So, Super Bowls for Mahomes are not like even AFC championships and before for him. So I don't want to hear people being like, and I was even shut up. I kept calling Mahomes the best quarterback in the league. But that game proved to me, if there's anything that's against him heavily, he's going to struggle. And in that game, it was he didn't have the normal offensive line to protect him, and he had a pass rush in the Bucs that was lethal, and he couldn't combat against it. I read a tweet from Bucky Brooks, who's he's kind of like a stat guy in the NFL. He breaks down plays. He was saying that the Bucs were basically taking away the deep passes from the Chiefs. Mahomes couldn't adjust. You're telling me he couldn't just start doing short routes, or they couldn't have mixed up the playbook? That comes into play too. So Mahomes, he has a long career to do it. I'm not saying this guy's career's over. He's still, probably the most talented quarterback in the league. But let's not call him the GOAT or call him better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the GOAT. End of story.
Yeah, here's the thing. Mahomes made a couple crazy throws, and I'm not going to lie, his receivers let him down. But
they did.
The O-line totally laid an egg that game, and they had two key pieces out that game because of COVID. But regardless, I was so surprised that there wasn't more of a like. It's just the Chiefs didn't get in the end zone.
Yeah,
the Chiefs didn't get in the end zone. That's nuts. And I know that the narrative is always going to be, oh my God, Tom Brady. Oh my God. Yep. Brady is just he's amazing. He's 43. He's winning rings. Mahomes is never going to beat him in the playoffs. Mahomes is 0-2 against Brady. Blah 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 blah. List goes on. I'm sorry, but the MVP, if I could give 12 or 11 MVPs out, it would be a ring to every single defensive starter, an MVP trophy or ring, whatever. Because holy cow, I'm telling you, in Mahomes' career, I don't think it will happen again that he does not score a touchdown in a game, that he starts and plays for all four quarters. His Chiefs, his offense will always score a touchdown. Unreal performance, truly amazing. If people like defense and people, older people are like, I love defense, I love a defense. That was a all-time top 10 Super Bowl defense performance.
They're not that good, man. They only have one Pro Bowler.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl. I was like, I watched that highlight reel probably now about 30 times since the games happened, and the fact that they didn't score a touchdown to me was like unreal. Like I was like, how did that not happen? But I think Devin White was the MVP of that game. He was just flying all over the place. Everyone did their part. Levante David, Devin White, Antoine Winfield missed the NFC Championship game, comes back, and to have Mahomes running around for his life, in the whole entire game and putting him on his back. No one really does that to him. And I also the throw he made where he was literally on his side, like almost levitating off the ground, and he still has the arm strength to get to the end zone, and it goes to the receiver's hands, hits him off the face of the helmet. That ball's going to be caught. If that ball is caught, that's a touchdown and probably one of the greatest throws I think you'll ever see. But I don't know. I think the Bucs defense really stepped up to the challenge and made the Chiefs look like not the Chiefs we've seen the last 2 years. But great performance, and I couldn't say enough. I can go on for days about the Bucs defense and the team, but the fact that they got it done, I'm more than happy, and got the job done.
And we're crediting that defense, but at the same time, Todd Bowles is the one who runs it. He did an unbelievable job as well.
Hey, by the way, some report just came out that said Joe Buck and Troy Aikman drink tequila with each other during their games, during the broadcast. I'm sorry, but if anybody has a problem with that and gets offended, you just really need to look in the mirror. Who cares? just who cares if they have a shot of tequila and they're like, "Yo, we're calling a football game. We're having some tequila." It's not like the 90,000 people in the stadium don't drink a beer while they watch the game. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you ever look up like old footage of Harry Carey, he was the old Cubs play-by-play guy on TV. That guy was buckled every time he was fucking announcing. He's like, "Hey, look at the fans there. I'm gonna grab myself a cold Budweiser." I'm like, this guy's ripped. And then Joe Buck and them are having like one glass of tequila, like really. And I've never noticed anything wrong with them. I mean, that's fine. I like they're ripping cigs and pounding beers. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
not like
main
they're up
thing. Like,
there-
if you don't notice, it's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they're up there like drinking the entire bottle. They're just having a drink here. They're probably loosens them up. When you have millions of people watching you, you might need to have a couple drinks in you to get a little loose, and I don't really blame anybody for it. Now, am I sitting here saying that I am endorsing people drinking on the job while I'm watching the football game? I'm not endorsing it. I just don't care. Their business is not my business. I don't care. I watch the game for the players. I don't watch it for the commentary.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah, well, no one's saying that we're not drinking on this show. I'll be 21 in a few weeks. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
When do you turn 21? Mardi Gras?
We'll see, Jacob.
March 17th, yeah, St. Patrick's Day.
That's a good
Sheesh.
birthday.
It's what a day,
Not
right?
Mardi Gras. I'm fucking stupid. I'm like, I can stop drinking. My brain's been mashed potatoes after this bender I've been on. Can barely spell and speak.
You've been on a Tampa bender for like a year now. The
Facts.
Lightning, the Rays, and the Bucks. Holy shit!
Rays let me down, but that's all right. Tampa trifecta was that cost.
Yeah, if I ever have to hear someone say Tampa trifecta again, I'm going to shoot myself. But anyway, so we got so there was a trade that went down today. Philadelphia agreed to trade Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for a 2021 third-round pick and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first. First of all, I know, we're all in the chat with Adiel. Him and I have been going back and forth about Carson Wentz for like a year and a half about, whether he's good or not. I still think Carson Wentz is legit. I think, listen, I called this, first of all, I called this right when the Colts rumors came out. Excuse me, the Wentz rumors came out. I tweeted out and said, Colts are a perfect fit. The last time that Wentz was effective was with Frank Reich. That was his offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. I felt like it would be a perfect match. That's exactly what happened. And Colin Cowherd said the same thing on his show today. He said literally what I just said. He's like, now you get Carson in that comfortable environment with a coach that he trusts. It makes a lot of sense. And here's the big thing with Indianapolis. He's going to have support. First of all, they were 11-5 with Phillip Rivers in his final season. Phillip can't air the ball out anymore. Phillip can't run. He can't really move. And they were still 11-5. Their offensive line is top 3. They've got 3 running backs with Taylor, Mack, and Hines. Wouldn't be shocked if they traded one of them. And then they got Pittman and T.Y. Hilton. They've got 3 tight ends. Their linebacking core with Leonard, one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL with DeForest Buckner out there. They've got a great secondary. This Colts team with Carson Wentz, I think they're division favorites.
Yeah. CJ, you can take it away.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, the Titans are good. Titans are really good. But look, I think that with the odds, actually, no, they're not. Sorry, Wentz was so bad last year that he needs to prove himself for any favoritism to be out there. I like this whole narrative that Wentz is somehow like unbelievably good now. It's so false. He was awful with the Eagles, like genuinely so bad. So I'm not going to sit here and just forget all of it because he's done the Colts now. He has to prove himself. Do I think it's going to work? Yeah, I think it's going to work, but he's got to prove himself. So the Titans are still the favorite in that division. Colts will probably be a playoff team, but Wentz has to put it together. There's a lot of pressure on him now. Can't blame the O-line anymore. You can't blame the coaching staff. You can't blame ownership. Can't blame anyone, not even the fans anymore, because the Eagles fans suck. They're all awful. But the Colts are just an entirely different organization. They're very well ran. There's not going to be – you can't blame anyone. No injuries, unless he actually has one. But you can't blame anything else on that. It's you go in there, you go to work, you get the team to the playoffs, and you look good doing it. Then you've rewritten a lot of things. But that's all I got to say about that.
All right. So before we go, I know you two have a little bit of a Panthers Lightning beef to hash out on the pod.
Dude, no beef. There's no beef. There's none.
It's just some slander when Shapiro has no idea about anything about hockey and he starts running his mouth about the Lightning. Yeah, you better watch himself. But no, I mean the Panthers took 2 out of 3. First game, Lightning sleepwalk, get our face kicked in the second period. Second game, Lightning, 6-1. And the third game, McElhinney can't stop a beach ball, but it's gonna be a back and forth series. I mean, all eight more. We have what? 5 more matchups before the playoffs, and they're gonna be the two teams. This is my prediction. It's gonna be the Lightning and Panthers to go to the conference final, and so that's gonna be like 17 matchups probably before the season's said and done. So I mean, it's gonna be
like you're saying the road to the conference finals is going to be a Panthers and Lightning series, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Lightning and Panthers. The winner of that's going to the conference final.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the Lightning are still the best roster in the league, and when they put it all together, I think that they're probably the best team in the league. I like the Bruins a lot. The Bruins are good, but they're good every year. We know this. I still think the Lightning are the number 1 team in the league. Bruins are right behind them. The Maple Leafs look good, but I'm never going to give them the credit that like a top 5 team should deserve because they're playing in the crappy Canadian division where every team gives up 6 goals to you. Look, I've been waiting for a Panthers team like this that has no nonsense. They hit, they fight for each other. There's a coach that will pull your $10 million goalie and sit his ass on the bench if he's not playing well, and he'll play the backup who's making a literal fraction of the money that he's making. I love it. I think there's competition in the team. I think you have 4 lines rolling. Like Cash saw when the Panthers were playing the Lightning, he had line 3 scoring goals. Like we haven't had this since their cup run in like 97. A team that was rolling 4 lines could put out defensemen and not be freaked out and have a coach that had a winning mentality. So look, it's brewing there in Florida, and I think finally ESPN, NHL, like people are actually realizing that there have been 2 superstars in Florida, and Huberdeau and Barkov, that are legitimate starters and line 1 players on virtually every single team in the league, save for 2 or 3 of them that have like Ovechkin and Stamkos, and you know what I mean. So it's all there.
Yeah, and Zibanejad, 4 points this year. I'm telling you,
that Lafreniere.
Hey, Lafreniere, gabagool, hey.
That guy's buns, bro. What's he doing there? Like,
I've renounced the Rangers.
Where's Krakow?
Hey, he's playing on the second line. He's using his body more, but nothing. No goals. They don't score. I'm done, dude. Truba's out 4-6 weeks.
They said he was Barkov too. That was his pro comparison, a guy that was moving around like in between the lines, puck possession player, feeds you, put you on a platter. Haven't seen it yet, but I will say it's all there. It's all there for the Rangers. I mean, the prospects going forward. It took Huberdeau a couple years.
That's what I was gonna say. I say your point on my show all the time. Strictly Rangers. I'm like, CJ told me, the guys on the Florida Panthers, they took 3-4 years. Kakko's 20 and Lafreniere's 19. So these are like kids.
The only difference is the Huberdeau won the Calder.
Huberdeau's out here fucking wheeling and
Huberdeau won the Calder his rookie year. He was rookie of the year. So was Ekblad. People
yeah, no, Lafreniere ain't doing that. That's not happening.
Well, look, dude, it's what I guess here's my advice to you. These guys are never they're not going to hit the Ovechkin numbers, the Huberdeau numbers, the McDavid numbers until they beef up. You got to understand that these guys are coming in the league from other countries. Unless there's some beefy kid that can immediately get out there, skate fast, they're going to get beaten out there. People don't realize how physical of a game it is. And if you look at Huberdeau's interview yesterday, look at how much he's bulked up since his rookie year. Like the guy's got cannons on his arms now because that's the only way that you're going to shed pucks. You're going to shed off bodies and whatnot. So it just takes a while. It takes weight, age, all that. And it'll come. The Rangers have all the pieces. Just build the back end. Let the offense explode. It'll happen.
All right, guys. So we're on here with FAU outfielder and pitcher Mitch Hartigan here on Strictly Baseball and Strictly Sports. First of all, thank you for coming on, Mitch. And how you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing well.
Yeah, no. Well, baseball season's coming up, man. It's what day is it? It's Thursday, so we got baseball coming tomorrow night. You guys will be in Orlando to face UCF. Have you guys started travel yet? What's been going on this week in the lead up?
No, it's a bit of a different approach this year because we've never done something like this where we go to UCF for 1 game and then they come back here for 2. So we don't leave for Orlando till like 10:30 tomorrow, and we bus up there and then play and then bus back.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, so it's all the COVID stuff. They're being precautious and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I was wondering. So we were talking earlier before you came on about the starting pitching for you guys. So who, I don't know if you could tell us, but like who's the the 1, 2, 3 guys for you guys last year? We knew Josie was one of your guys. So who's y'all's number one going into the season?
Yeah, Josie will still be our number one. I actually live with him. He's in the other room over here, but
Gotcha.
He'll be our number one. He'll be starting tomorrow. And then our Saturday guy is a new guy who just is a JUCO transfer from Indian River. His name is Javi Rivera. He's got the heat. He gets up to like 95, 96.
Geesh.
And then our Sunday, as of now, is Matt Sparling, who's a lefty that also gets up to like 93, 94. And then once conference play starts, we'll have to add another starter because we'll be doing double headers on Saturday.
Awesome.
That's interesting. So it's definitely a good pitching staff. I mean, you guys got it through last year, but the question I've had for you, I've been thinking about it. You play left field, you hit 300, you hit home runs, and you also close. I mean, how do you balance all that? You got to worry about defense, you got to worry about your at bats, and then you got to worry about getting 3 outs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's mostly just worrying about my at bats in the outfield. It's not too much worried about the defense. Just don't let it get behind you. But honestly, pitching kind of takes my mind off of everything else. Like, it's more, if you ask me, hitting, it's not harder, but it's like just more thought process and like a little bit harder on the mind. Cause I mean, a good hitter gets on 3 out of 10 times. So, and a good pitcher is supposed to get you out like 8 out of 10 times. So, I mean, it's just the success level makes it a little bit easier on the mind to me. So it kind of takes my mind off of like a bad day hitting.
No, that's interesting. I mean, you never really think about it that way. As a fan sitting out here, you're thinking of it as like a numbers game almost.
Yeah, I'm a big numbers guy.
So you pitch and you play in the field. Would you say that your skill and your experience pitching plays a big factor in your at bats?
I'd say so. Yeah. Hitting, there's only so much thinking you can do. Even as a pitcher that like I also pitch, you don't want to overthink anything. Like just try to guess what they're going to come at you with or what you would come at yourself with. But it's more just like get in there, see ball, hit ball. But it definitely helps at some points if you know that the pitcher mindset is like a hitter gets themselves out more times than anything. So you just kind of have to just pound the zone and do your thing. Don't try to nibble on corners too much. And honestly, 3 out of 10 times or 7 out of 10 times, they'll just end up getting themselves out.
For sure. Yeah, I always wondered about that. Like guys in college who pitch and play in the outfield when they're at bats. I always kind of like, I'm not the biggest baseball guy, but I love watching college baseball. And especially when FAU's playing, I try to go to as many games as possible. Yeah. And I always wonder about what the advantage that you guys have that, you pitch, you see things probably a little differently than just the guy who plays first base and doesn't really, pitch as much.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. So real quick, being a part of that 2019 run, y'all finished, with 41 wins. A team that kind of y'all seem to be like overlooked, year in and year out. Even though y'all are winning 40 games, consistently. Coach McCormick seems to have y'all in the right mindset every year. Getting put in that Athens regional with Florida State, Georgia. Kind of going through the gauntlet there. Getting bounced early, and then last year going up against Texas Tech, Florida State, Florida. I mean, how do y'all stay ready? And like, what's the mindset like going up against these, top 10 teams and, thinking, we're going to grab a win here and, we're going to show people that, we're for real and we belong here.
Yeah. I mean, you got to just kind of treat it like any other game. We're lucky enough to be like in Florida. So we'll play Miami 3 times a year. They'll be top 10 most of the time. We'll play UF at least once a year. We'll go up there and that 2019 year, we actually won the game up at UF. So, I mean, it's just, you got to try to not make too big of a deal of it. Last year, I feel like that's kind of what we did badly at FSU. It was just kind of a different atmosphere. We kind of, I don't know if we psyched ourselves out or anything, but that was definitely the best pitching we faced all year. And Texas Tech had some absolute dudes. So I don't know. We just kind of have to make sure we just treat it like any other game and just do our thing, because we've proven that we could hang with these teams time and time again.
So who's the guy in the clubhouse that's mainly the leader? You know, when you're going into those big road trips, who's the guy that's giving the speech or kind of the prominent voice in there?
Yeah, and who's the clown too? We want to know who the clown is, and then also if you could tell us who's the guy who's picking up the chicks on the first baseline too. All those girls that are sitting there, because I go to a lot of games. I'm like, damn, this is a prime spot here.
Oh, geez. I mean, we got 3 captains this year. My roommate, Nick, my other roommate, Jared DeSantillo, and then our most senior pitcher, Dio. They're kind of the guys that are just, I don't know if they'd be the ones hyping us up, but they'll definitely take the voice of reason role and just kind of keep us centered before the games and get us on the right track. When we're looking for a hype speech, we go to our new guy, Daniel Tomasello, actually, because that dude is just a bundle of energy. And every time we go, he'll probably lead the speech tomorrow, honestly, but he gets into it. So, and sheesh, as for the guy that picks up the chicks, I don't know. We got a lot of our teams wifed up right now.
Oof.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Tough look.
Yeah, at Owl Radio, our guy who picks up all the chicks is Steve. So we definitely want to put him up against whoever your guy is.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't know. We got
Yeah,
a few guys
chat
here and there.
So Steve and I were calling a bunch of games last year, and we were watching Mikey and Tenza pitch, and we were sitting up there. Basically, every time he pitched, we had a different theory as to what that pitch is. Are you even allowed to say what it is, or what do you think it is? That wipeout slider or whatever the hell it is?
I mean, it's just a slider. I don't know what he does with it, but I faced him actually recently in one of our inner squads. I think it was on Saturday, but it's crazy. I don't know how he does it. Like, the pitch just falls off the table half the time. Sometimes it just like breaks just enough to get a strike call. And I don't understand it. The physics behind it don't make sense to me, but it works. So
Yeah, like the first time we called the game of the season, and he comes in and I see him throw that. I think we called 3 games in a row, and I'm like, what the hell is he throwing? It looks like a slider. I'm gonna go with that. And then I ran to Wenstrom and I asked him the same thing. He was like, we just don't really know. It just moves a certain ways. And I've seen so many guys throw. I pitched in high school, and it's like, how he gets to move that way. It's a put out pitch for him. And it's, I don't know, it's his bread and butter, but if he keeps throwing it that way, I mean, makes him successful. So it's awesome.
It doesn't make any sense to us, because like last fall in my sophomore year, in fall, he was just kind of there. Like, he was always a good pitcher. I've grown up in the same area as him, but it just, as soon as we got to spring and spring inter squads, that pitch just became 10 times better and just wiped out everybody, all of our hitters, all of the other team's hitters. I don't know what happened with it, but it works.
Yeah, these guys are analyzing from under that tent, and I'm just sitting to the side of them, just like jarring with all the fans and just yelling at them to go back to Miami because they're a bunch of losers. Yeah, no. I genuinely, like, sitting back there with them, like behind the plate. It's so awesome. It gives me like a bit more of like an intimate look at baseball and the game. And I was gonna ask you, what's it like playing for Coach McCormick? He seems like such a great guy who is constantly on Twitter hyping up FAU, even if it's not baseball, whether it's new buildings going up, Greek life that's done something cool, or the football team, whatever it is. He
Yeah.
seems like a guy that just lives and dies by FAU, and it's infectious throughout, people who really like FAU athletics. So what is it like, learning from him every day?
I mean, honestly, it's great. I couldn't ask for a better head coach or better coaching staff in general, honestly. A lot of those guys that coach the big programs, you kind of get like the vibe that they're a little like stricter or kind of just standoffish, and he's not like that. He'll joke with you. He's very sarcastic on the field. Like if you make a bad throw, he'll joke with you, and it'll be kind of a backhand comment, but it's from the right place, and he knows his stuff. It's just a lot of fun. He definitely lives and breathes FAU, and it infects all the teammates with it too. And then all of our other coaches are amazing too.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
so what's the better feeling? Is it making a diving catch, hitting a home run, or getting the final out of a game?
Hitting a home run for me, definitely. I prefer hitting over pitching. I've told many people that, but getting the final out in a game is pretty cool, especially if it's a close game. Like I got 2 saves last year, and those felt pretty good. So, but a home run, there's nothing better than it. I remember last year, not to go off on a tangent, but we played, I think it was Binghamton. It might have been Delaware, but we had bases loaded with 2 outs, and the pitcher got out of it by striking somebody out, and he hit one of these after he got off the field, and we were all pissed. And and it was really bad because he literally loaded the bases right before. So I went up the next inning with the worst mindset I've ever gone up to an at-bat with. I was like literally just trying to hit a home run, and just so I could do it to him. And I got like 0-2 right away. I was swinging out of my shoes, and then he placed like a meatball right down the middle, and that's where I got my only home run of the year. And I was able to hit it on the way out, and it was the best feeling.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Yeah, no, it was.
You should have looked at him and just did the right.
I looked at his catcher, looked him right in the eye, and went like that. So.
Hell yeah.
No, that's the best. I mean, those are the things in baseball that you don't get in any other sport. Other sports you're allowed to, celebrate on the field. In baseball, it's like if you do one thing that pisses off the other team, gets a whole team riled up.
Yeah. So question. So FAU sent, a pretty decent amount of guys to the majors, whether they've only played in the minors, not gotten all the way through, or guys that have gotten all the way through. Do guys like that come back and talk with the program, give back, and see you guys before the season and whatnot? Do they engage a lot with the program? Because I know that for the most part, MLB's off season is still going on, like as your season is starting.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. They always come back around. We get speeches from former FAU players that have gone pro all the way. Especially the guys that are like just got drafted a few years ago. Like for my freshman year, we've got Pedro. We've got like Mike Ruff. Sandy's back as our ops guy now, but they're always around. They just love the atmosphere here, and they still have friends on the team, obviously, but they're always around, just being generous. Tyler Frank's here all the time too. So yeah, no, they can't get enough of FAU baseball. It's a unique culture here.
Yeah, that reminds me that this conversation. Well, what do you think it's going to be like this year without Urbaez at the top of the order and without Summerall in the middle?
It's definitely going to be a lot quieter. Frankie's always yelling something, so and he's everybody's favorite player. Like you ask my mom, she's his favorite player, or he's her favorite player, and I'm second on the list. But it's definitely going to be a lot quieter. We're going to have to rely on some new guys to keep up the energy. But it's definitely going to be a lot different without him. And then Udi Summerall, he was just it was kind of hard to just imagine the whole program as a whole without him. He just he embodied the whole place, and I lived with him last year. And so, have this whole year without him. It's been really weird. Those two both were the loudest kids on the team, so a lot quieter, but I miss them a lot.
Yeah, and then you said like a ton of new guys stepping up this year. It seems like it's it's a next man up mentality, but it's kind of speaks volumes to what Coach McCormack instills in you guys. And it's like it doesn't matter who's leaving, who's coming up, and that's get you guys ready. But how do you guys feel going into this weekend series against UCF? They're ranked number 24. Y'all feel confident, ready to go and get it done?
I mean, we're real confident. We get slept on in the rankings a lot, so we don't put much stock into that 24 versus our unranked. We think we've got a better team, and we can come over there and just beat them, and then come back here and beat them again. So we've got a lot of our whole lineup almost basically came back, except for Udi and Francisco, and then the pitching staff is just way deeper this year. So it should be we're looking forward to it a lot.
No, this is going to be a great.
Yeah,
were you going to say something, CJ? Oh, okay. No,
I was just saying that like when freshmen come to campus, I remember when I got to campus, like what the word around the campus was like, hey, look, football tailgates are nuts. It's a great time, but our best team here is FAU baseball, and make sure you go to those games. And I've just been going ever since, and it is an infectious atmosphere, like you said, for the guys to come back and whatever. But just as a fan, it's like on those bigger games when you get UM to come to town, or
Right.
like UF up the road at whatever park that was, we went. Those big games where you're playing the bigger names, everybody gets up for it. It's truly awesome. So
For sure.
I got tickets today for Sunday. I tried to get them for Saturday night for the home opener, but they were sold out like this. So I got me and my family tickets for Sunday at 1. So we'll all be there, and we're excited.
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff. So, well, we want to thank you, Mitch, for coming on. We're going to wish you a lot of luck going into this season. I'll be there on Saturday and Sunday calling for FAU Radio. So hopefully we'll be announcing some good stuff this weekend. Again, thanks for coming on, and we'll hope to have you on soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was nice meeting
All right.
you guys.
Thanks, Mitch.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that's our Super Bowl quick pod here. We're going to have the Mitch Hartigan interview on the channel as well. So you guys get 2 things today. Check out Strictly Baseball. Steve and I just went over a bunch of moves. Spring training started today. Strictly Hockey, we did a few days ago. We'll do it again next week. Strictly Rangers also uploaded this morning. And then we're going to do a Strictly Yankees within the next few days as well. So for this edition of Strictly Sports, and you guys can go check the channel out now on YouTube. I organized it differently. If you go under playlists on Strictly Sports Productions on YouTube, all 5 podcasts are separated into playlists. So it's all organized for you guys. You can find all the pods really simply, or you could listen to them individually. You got Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the good stuff. So it's all out there for you guys to listen to. Follow us on Twitter at Strictly Sports P, and on Facebook and Instagram at Strictly Sports Productions. For CJ Uri and Steve Cashin, I am Jacob Brown, and we will see you next time.